good morning. Happy new week, everybody. Last time for a little while from the Gold Coast, coming to you today for Live with Nat. We're flying back to Melbourne this Wednesday. My mum left with the car in the middle of the night and she's driving to New South Wales today. So we're super excited for the new school year and to see our other home. So after 3 months, we're certainly ready to get back into home base in Melbourne. So happy new week, and I thought today we'll have a bit of fun and talk about a topic. Well, it's in some way you could say it's fun. Good morning, Leslie. But in other ways, it's so reality, and I'll just kind of put the title of it, because people wonder, how are some people luckier than others? So I thought why I wanted to talk about this is because Stuart and I just had a weekend away, and while we were away, we played a lot of games, and we've been playing a lot of games throughout the lockdowns, a lot more than you normally would with family, with my mum here, with my son, and all that kind of stuff. And it's very interesting to watch all of the players in the games, how they react or respond to winning, to losing, and all that kind of stuff. But also I think gameplay has a big correlation to how we behave in our everyday life, in our businesses, in our relationships, and other things like that, right? Why do I know this is true as well? Because a few years back also, I attended this training by, it was Clinton Swain, who actually does personal development as well as business trainings, but through experiential seminars and retreats, where all they do is they go away and play games, and then they debrief what happened in those games in terms of how people responded, what they did, what are the decisions they made in games, and how actually that really, really is a parallel to how we do things in life. And so we were thinking about it on our drive back to the Gold Coast from Caloundra yesterday. And I said, what should I talk about? Because Stuart made this big statement when we were bowling. He goes, oh my God, I've been so unlucky this year, because I won the Yahtzee and I was winning quite a few things throughout the time we were here. And we sort of got to thinking, what is it that someone does that tends to have things always go their way? And the old saying, the harder you work, the luckier you get. Well, that was going to be my final thing I was going to say, but anyway, we can start off with that one, and that is so true. But I actually want to tap into a little bit more of the mindset and the behavior and the what do you say to yourself, and how do you sort of keep moving past, say, defeat or rejection and all that kind of stuff. So I want to cover a little bit of those things, because people can observe other people and say, oh, they're so lucky, right? And yet they don't realize, or that they haven't seen what happens behind the scenes of this person in terms of how they turn up in life, and how did they overcome setbacks, and how hard are they working, how much, and all that kind of stuff. So yes, the saying, the harder you work, the luckier you get, is 100%, 150% true. But what is the mindset behind someone who can get to that point and have lots of wins along the way? Good morning, Jody, as well, and the rest of you that are watching. And if you're watching on recording, I'd love to have your comments throughout as what were some of your insights. So let's talk about the first one, okay? Attitude and vibration, right? And one of the things that is really, really important when we want to, get stuff to go our way, and I listen quite a lot to Esther Hicks, who channels Abraham, and it's a little bit of that woo-woo kind of stuff. But she always talks about this, it is only when we feel good that that we're able to, be in flow, or she calls it the vortex, get into the vortex. Good morning, Suzanne. And so attitude and vibration in how you turn up. If you turn up to a game, like when we sit down, we've played a lot of Yahtzee. Hey, Katie Kay. We played a lot of Yahtzee, and I sit down and say, who's feeling lucky today? Who thinks they're going to win? And from the outset, me just saying that is like, okay, or doing this live on a Monday morning, you know, it actually raises my vibration and gets me into the business mode from the weekend, sort of slow mode into, you know, set the week right, say good morning to my team, like, you know, let's have an amazing week, all that sort of stuff. So I'm already saying it out loud what I want it to be, even though nothing's really happened yet, right? So from the onset, and I guess that was one of my points, is how do you set an intent? How do you set your intentions? You know, and what kind of belief and expectation? Oh God, this hair is that going in my eyes? Sorry guys, got this hair in my eye and it's just annoying me. Okay, that's gone. What kind of added belief and expectation do you have that things are going to go your way? Or is there this little voice in the back of your head, oh, I'm not deserving of this, or it's not going to happen for me, I'm not one of those people, or I never win anything, right? Just you know, you have to catch yourself on your self-talk. And this is actually why often I will say stuff out loud, is because then it makes it a lot more real. In our brains, when we create a belief, or we want something to happen, we first see it in our head, okay? Then we say it in our mouth, then we feel it in our body, and then we do it. So this is the order of things of how we do stuff. So see it, say it, feel it, do it. And it is really important that we externalize what it is that we want or believe or we want to happen and all that kind of stuff. And so hair's still there. Oh my God, so annoying. And so it is really, really important that, you know, I don't know, that you create that, because when some of my clients, authors, say, oh, you know, Nat, I can never speak as well as you do. You can just kind of turn up and deliver an awesome inspirational speech. But that's because I have repeated and repeated and repeated and repeated what I do and how I do it so many times over and over and over. And by externalizing it, I'm actually embedding it and feeling it in my body, and then it's just kind of coming through me. Okay, so really, really important. So attitude and vibration is number one. You know, how do you turn up? Belief and expectation. You know, there's the expectation theory. I think there's a book about it. You know, if you expect something to happen, you'll probably be proven right. Okay, so always go in expecting that things are going to turn out your way. Okay, because when things turn out our way, we celebrate, but they don't always do, right? It's not a guarantee, you guys. It's not like you're going to have always wins, always yeses, and always awesome things happening to you. But when they do, then you need to celebrate. We had the biggest piss ourselves moment last night. So I was like going for Yahtzee, and every time like I'd have a good roll and things like that, I would go, yeah, you know, like just doing that, bringing my body in, like, you know, like a little 5-year-old, almost and so we have these buttons that you record your voice on. They're the naughty and nice Christmas buttons, but you can record whatever you want. And you know, we've got a couple of sayings. One is celebration one, and one is when you stuff up and all that kind of stuff. And you know, and the family chose like, they wanted me to record that celebration, and we played it back. It was so funny, but it changed how everyone felt about it. And every time someone would have a good thing, we would celebrate and absolutely nearly pissed ourselves laughing because the recording sounded super funny. So it is really, really important that, you know, in our business, you know, when we have the opportunity to help someone new, you know, we welcome them. I mean, you guys, some of you that are watching are my authors. You're so great at welcoming them and celebrating that they've made the right decision. And so does my team, and everyone kind of gets on board. So, you know, we bring that feeling into it, and we actually savor and enjoy that moment. Leslie says, I use present words like I am, I have, to keep things in the right now. Yeah, not words I'm going to. Yeah, like right now, present tense, as if you're in possession. I mean, this is how you should be setting goals, in the present tense, as if you're in possession of them, and you're bringing what will you see, what will you feel, and what will you hear. Okay, so that let me see if I can read one of my 2021 90 day, or let's have a look here. Where is it? Okay, so it's the 31st of December of 2021, and I have continued my health and fitness activities. I exercise 4 times a week, eat well, have detox twice this year, and I'm in the best shape of my life. I feel light, lots of energy, full of zest. I see a lean body, and I hear compliments on my appearance. Yes, see, hear, and feel, because at the end of the day, we are not after the goal, we're after the feeling. That's what we want, right? Because when we achieve the goal, guess what? We want to feel something else, and we want to go take it up the next level. Good morning, Galen and Adrian. All right, so celebrate your wins and bring in even more energy, because of course more energy and more feeling good, guess what, makes you luckier, and more stuff starts coming back. Have you noticed when stuff starts going good, it actually kind of snowballs, and more good stuff here keeps happening, and more good stuff, and you go, oh my God, you know what's happening lately, I can't believe it. But that's because you feel good and you're celebrating, you know, another thing gets attracted, another thing gets attracted, right? And what's it called, and when things go bad, like they come in threes, you know, it's like, what is this all about? And I believe it does have to do a lot to do with where we end up operating at what vibrational level. So we talked about setting the intention, and of course writing goals is one way of setting the intention, but so you should every single day. Okay, today I want to get this and this done, and when I do that, this is how it'll make me feel. Like, you know, Mondays for me is really to set the week up, you know, to get organized for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, what's going to happen, because lots of events, I've got a masterclass, I've got a seminar, I've got a speaking gig, I've got lots of things like that to organize. So today is really just set up and planning day. So I want to feel at the end of today that I'm going to be like, just rock up and do the other things without having to, like, you know, work on PowerPoints, set up calendars and things like that, that I'm in execution mode. So today is like kind of set up for the week and then execution mode as we go through the week. So set your intention daily, obviously weekly. I've got my 90-day goals and my 12-month goals, which I always do every 90 days. All right. And when defeat comes, so let's talk about when like shit hits the fan, or defeat comes, right? It is really important that you think that it's never over. It's never over. I'll kind of use my Yahtzee example from before. Like often when a couple of people get Yahtzees and you haven't got one, you can kind of think, oh my God, I'm trying to catch up now, and all that kind of stuff with the scores and things like that. But even to the last roll of the game, I might be behind. It's not over. I can still get Yahtzee. I can still, you know, like I always and keep going. Even my football team is losing, or it's like the clock counting down. Oh, there's still time for tomorrow. Like that's kind of what my mindset operates in. It's like not over until like it is over, and defeat can come. And so what happens when defeat comes? I don't know if you've noticed. Dogs, for example, you know, if you tell them off, you know, they might feel like sheepish and like, you know, kind of go in the corner for a second, but literally 3 minutes later, they come jumping up at you and they're so excited to see you and they want to play with you again. So I want you to be like a little puppy, right? And a dog that, you know, forgets about the defeat or being told off, and you go again, you know, because sometimes, you know, again, I'll use the RTs out, I'll roll something crappy, you know, just not rolling good today. And like, okay, there's always the next roll. Okay, we come around the table after the 4 goes. We'll go again and try again. Yeah. So, don't sit in defeat or rejection, you know, for a super long time and dwell on it, because guess what happens? You start to generate and make that snowball effect and go in the opposite direction, where you're not feeling good and you're kind of feeling, you know, down on yourself. So you just kind of got to brush it off quite quickly and go, okay, next phone call, or next time I need to, you know, I'm going to win. And you turn up always, you know, expecting that you're going to win or you're going to get a yes, but it might not happen every single time, you know, and it might not happen when you wanted, but it's always happening at the right time, right? I love that, you know, and how when you look at things in hindsight, you go, oh, I get it now. That crappy stuff happened because all of this good stuff I was meant to learn this. So all this good stuff can happen right now. Okay, plan to be lucky. Okay, so just plan, you know, make that intention that, you know, and set the plans out there. And as we said, the harder you work, the luckier you get. But always, always, always understand that, being lucky is not always going to happen or go your way. Good morning, Christine. Let me say, I've learned to think. So what did I learn from that? Or what is the universe telling me? Yeah, Bernie, totally. Everything happens for a reason. As much as, crap happens all around us and good stuff happens, at the end of the day, we look back and go, oh my God, that turned out exactly the way it should have. I mean, honestly, if you could relive or have your life unfold a different way, would you? Would you? Right? And a lot of people will say, I'm not going to talk for everyone, but what would there's also, kind of what would you have told your 20-year-old self, or what advice would you have given them and all that kind of stuff? Or would you pre-warn them of anything and all that? Well, not really, because I kind of think that the journey has been amazing, and everything that has happened, the good and the bad, have played a big, important part to where we have arrived today. And I'm sure for a lot of you, you would think that the same way about your own lives. There might be some, situations where you would have wanted things to turn out differently. And I'm sure there's a lot of that also out there. But usually when we use that benefit of like the hindsight and looking at it, I go, oh, okay, now it makes sense. It just didn't at the time. So the other thing I wanted to say is observe other people that you see as lucky. Okay, so this is kind of going into that modeling, success, or modeling what other people are doing, and then replicate that in your own life. Diane McKendrick, one of my authors, and I got to hang out a few times here in Queensland, and she often tells me, Nat, I sort of watch what you do, and I've listened to a lot of your lives, and did mission declutter a lot because I was not as organized in the past, and now I'm just kind of modeling because I do want to have your model, because I've got kids and you've got kids, and I kind of just want to have some of the outcomes that you're experiencing in life, so therefore I'm gonna model that. And it was interesting, she accompanied me into Chanel just before Christmas, and we went into the car park in the city of Brisbane, and she said, all right, let's call upon the parking fairies. And we have a little song that we sing with our family when it's about parking spots, in busy times. And, it's the Kylie Minogue, I should be so lucky, 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 lucky. And I thought, oh, the parking fairies, she's got the parking fairies. And I said, that's kind of cute. So I played with the parking fairies on the weekend, because in Caloundra was so busy. There was just like not a spot available anywhere around the main area where we wanted to sort of walk around. But I was just like, I call up on you parking fairies, you're going to look after us, going to find us the best spot. And every single time we got a really good spot, not too far away, and better than we looked around for a bit, but we still found them. So then I said to Stu, well, I said that, so I started saying that because, I know we have our little song. So observe what other people do that you admire and that you perceive that they're lucky in a certain area. And at the end of the day, what do we define being lucky, right? It can be really frustrating for people who've done a lot of work to be called lucky. It's happened to me many, many times. But I kind of look at it, well, yeah, I am, because I create the environment, the mindset, the belief, the expectation, all of that, but teamed up with taking action, is what then equals making luck work in my way. That doesn't mean I don't get scared, I don't fail, I don't experience defeat. Sometimes, many times over and over, I'll have a bad run or something, it's just not going my way, but I kind of go, okay, this too shall pass. A good run, another good snowball effect will eventuate soon. And I just learn to be patient, because there is those peaks and troughs in life. Hey, Teresa, lots of you guys on the call today. You all want to be a lot luckier. I'm going to be coming into the authors group in a moment and talk about what are those lucky authors who actually do amazing things with their books do to bring that about themselves. Luba says, I tell myself the further I park, the more steps I get in. And that's another intention that you can set. is that you want to find a park spot further away, because then you'll be forced to do some of your incidental exercise along the way. It depends what your goals are, right, Luba? I've loved all the photos from the skiing and snow over there. A few people from the northern hemisphere have the snow happening over there, and we have got the sun and the surf and the really humid weather. It's so it still astounds me how one hemisphere can be in winter and one in summer, even though I grew up in the northern hemisphere and now we're in the southern. All right, so let's review in case some of you guys have jumped on a bit late. So what are the 10 ways to being lucky? Number 1 was attitude and vibration. Listen to stuff if you're challenged by this. Oh yeah, that's the one thing that I didn't say. If you're challenged by yourself raising your vibrations, listening to YouTube videos, to guided meditations, there's so much stuff. Like literally go on YouTube and go raise my vibration meditation or some kind of speech or whatever it is. But listening to other people, reading books, you know, being surrounded also by people. It depends if you're extrovert, introvert, or whatever gives you more of your energy back in. That's the kind of stuff you need to do more of to raise your own vibration. And you can get assistance. You're not expected to just do it all by yourself, because sometimes when we need it most is when we are feeling in the slump of things that we need to like snap out of it. Come on, I need to get to the feel good spot. Spot. When things go to plan, I say get back up on the horse and try again. And Suzanne, yeah, so you can use your horse analogy there. Absolutely. And like, you know, the puppy that I talked about earlier, you know, just like, okay, get excited again. It's time to go and get up. All right, so that was attitude and vibration. Listen to stuff if you're challenged by this. And the more you listen to that stuff, the more you're going to start to say it yourself. And the most important thing is to get it to that level that you're talking to yourself in a more positive manner. Not the body language that my boys sometimes can. My boys, Judd and Stuart, you know, they have this, like, you know, if we start playing again, someone starts to have an awesome win. That's it, it's over. And this is the body language. Actually, we didn't even talk about body language yet, right? It's over, and the slumped shoulders. And then if we're playing the Yahtzee and you get the 5 dice and they roll them like or like really like totally disinterested, and it's like, yeah, well, what do you expect? You're not going to get any better, you know, or change it up if you're going to just kind of play like that for the rest of the game. So body language is really, really important, you know, just, yeah, that's kind of just like reset yourself. So resetting yourself, right? Belief and expectation was number 2. What do you believe? Do you believe, you know, that you're lucky? Do you believe and expect that good things are going to happen in your life? Number 3 was celebrate wins, which means bringing even more energy on top of the good energy and vibration you've produced, but then celebrating. You know what I mean? People just say, I don't high five. Like, you know, you want to do a high five to celebrate something. And I go, I don't high five. Well, why not? Why don't you high five? You know, what's wrong with you? You know, I understand, you know, they might have a certain belief around that, but it's just this form of celebration, right? Makes you feel good and makes you feel connected, right? To do that. Set the intention. So that was about the goals, and already Leslie said, you know, in the present tense, as if you're in possession with them, and what will you hear, see, and feel when you have achieved that goal? Number 5 was never think it's over. Never think it's over. Never give up, you know. The boys watch a lot of wrestling, and the big catchphrase for John Cena is never give up, you know. So every time, you know, I keep going for something, I go, John Cena, never give up. This one we haven't talked about, gratitude. I missed that one. I must have skipped it off my notes. Practice gratitude. It is another way of starting to feel really good. It's another way of raising your vibration. I do a lot of my gratitude when I put my head on the pillow, because then I'm able to just be on my own, if you like, and then I start to ramble stuff off in my head. Of course, it's great to write it down. It's great to say it. you know, and even visually to represent it of what is your why, what are you thankful for, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so practicing gratitude is a must, because of course, if you do get lots of lucky things happening in your life, guess what? You know, you need to also be thankful, and that will attract, therefore, more of the same. Plan to be lucky. So just plan. I'm just one of those people that has the Midas touch, if you like. A reset button after defeat, right? So just hit the reset button, and whatever it is, like Suzanne said, get back on that horse, or, you know, start getting excited about things once again, is really, really important. Number 9, observe other people that are lucky and model them. And number 10 was work hard. Okay, so none of these mindset-y things, think this way, expect that way, what is it? Celebrations, never think it's over, practicing gratitude, all, they're kind of more, if you like, they're important, they're super important, right? But you can't just sit and, you know, go, okay, I'm doing all of that, right, in my head, and I'm saying it and all that, but then you're not really taking action towards the goals, like the hard work, you know, the stuff that really makes us uncomfortable, gets us out of our comfort zone, makes us really like stretch and go, can I really do this? You know, all of that stuff, you know, and actually taking the little steps that make you better and better and better and better, where, you know, you find a new, or you expand that comfort zone to the next level, you know, and that's by taking action and working harder. And the harder you work, the luckier you get. And some of these things, now all of these things that we talked about, you may not be doing all of them all of the time, or maybe you haven't even done some of them, or you maybe have forgotten. Maybe this live, it was just a reminder. Okay, a lot of the time when people come on my lives, it's not like they don't know stuff, or they're not aware of it. They are, but just being reminded of it is kind of like, okay, you know, let's, you know, I did used to do that, but I've stopped doing it. Maybe I need to just come back to it again. Yeah. And that's what I often, when I listen to speakers and all that, validate stuff I already know, but it just kind of reminds me to refocus on what's important, or what I'd like to create as being really important. Hey Kim, that's all right. You can catch the rest of the recording later on. So I hope all of this, you know, reminded you of some of the things that do create luck in our lives, in our relationships, in our businesses, in our health and well-being, in our games that we play with people, you know, who wonder why they're so lucky, you know, and just enjoy it. And remember, at the bottom of all this, always come from a place of feeling good, and create that space if you can for yourself. I know there's moments when in our lives, you know, we might be going through grief, or, you know, something, you know, that we need to go through the stages of denial, anger, blame, depression, you know, that has happened. But, you know, it is about the 80-20. We're not meant to be always happy and positive, you know, but we're also not meant to be always down and sad, or you know, I'm hoping that you'd be 80% in the more positive and feel good place, and 20% in that pit. So have an amazing week, everyone, whatever you're doing. I'm going to go through to my authors group and talk to them about what do lucky authors do that ones that say they're not so lucky and have a garage full of books don't do. Have a great one. And next week, I'm going to see you from Melbourne. So rather than 8 a.m., it'll be 9 a.m. over there. And we're going to have a longer day, get up later because it doesn't get as light as early, and go to bed later as well. So I'm just shifting my sleeping patterns once again. Hey, I'll talk to you guys very soon. And as always, smash it out.